Hello everyone. Today I am going to talk about masks. Mask is a GUI component which controls the visibility of other GUI elements. It is most commonly used to create scroll views where the user only sees a small portion of a very big list. It can also be used creatively to attain certain visual effects, for example fading in and fading out. And I will also show you how you can create a simple health bar using just a mask. To demonstrate the use of mask, I have a very simple setup inside Unity. The first thing that you should remember is that the mask component is always associated with a image component, and the mask uses the image, the sprite attached to that image component to determine the masking of that element. So in this setup, I have a simple image of a skull, and this sprite is what we want to be masked, and we have created it as a child of another image element, and in the parent image element we are going to attach the masks, because as you remember, masks only affect the components which are a child of that image element. You can add a mask component to any image element by clicking on the add component button, then going to UI submenu and then clicking on mask. The mask component uses the alpha value of the sprite attached to the image component to determine the visibility of its children's. So in those areas where your sprite has an alpha equal to 0, in those areas the child images would be hidden or masked. The mask component will automatically hide or mask any portion of the child image which is outside the boundary of the mask image. So in this example, I can increase the size of my child image, and you can see that all the portions which are outside the boundary of my mask image sprite are hidden by default. So you can think of it uh, like any area outside the mask boundary has an alpha of 0. Now let's assign a sprite as our mask image and see how it can affect the visibility of the child image. So I have a very simple mask image here, and the area which is covered in red has alpha greater than 0, and the areas at the corner have an alpha of 0. So this mask will filter those areas at its corner to be not visible from our child image. I will turn this boolean show mask graphic to off so that the masking is more apparent. Now you can see this is how our child image looks without the masking component, and this is after we have attached the mask component. So this sprite image controls the visibility. You can use it to create special visual effects like creating a border to your buttons and etc. Now the option here to either show or hide your mask graphics controls whether you want to show your mask image or not. So if this option is off, your mask image or your mask sprite would be drawn beneath the image that you want to be masked. And in most of the cases, it is better to turn this mask graphics option off so that only your child image which has been masked is visible. Masks can be used creatively in conjugation with other GUI elements to create better, cool new GUI elements. Here I will show you an example of how masks can be used to create a simple health bar. Here you can see it behaves like a normal health bar going from 0 to the max health, and it has been created using the image component and the mask component. And how it works is that at on the back I have a very simple image component, a rectangular bar with the color red, and on top of that I have, let's turn off the red bar here, and on top of that I have a very simple green bar here, a green rectangular bar with the same size of that red bar, and the visibility or the width of this green bar is being controlled by an image component which has the mask component. Now I can increase or decrease the size of my image component by changing its width, And when I change the width of my mask image, it controls the visibility of my green rectangular bar. Now you can see that if I turn my mask off, the green bar is fully visible, and I am only changing my mask image width to control the visible width of my green bar, and this together with my red bar creates the illusion of the normal, a simple, a very simple health bar, where you control the visual representation of health by changing the width of my mask image. So this was a demonstration of a very simple feature created using mask. There are other areas where mask can be used to create more visually stunning features, and it is also a very critical element when we would look at an important GUI control, which is the scroll view.